Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to the Real Long Walk. Been about 3 days since the last video. Apparently, in those last few days, I have missed how to count, and also not how to be completely uncoordinated. Actually, that's pretty typical. Seems kind of low. I think it's my. No, it's maxed out. I think on my headphones. Is it the other way? Oh well. Should be good then. Awkward beginning. Awkward beginning. I kind of hate that I have an adjustment on my headphones for audio because it kind of screws me up when I'm checking audio levels the headphones on, which is normally when I do. But of course, I changed the audio on the speakers quite a bit, so that it makes me feel a little bit inconsistent. But hopefully, my audio is pretty consistent. Hopefully, you can hear me, and if you were to not want to hear me, then hopefully you would have the sense to turn down your settings to where if you just want to watch the world go by and quit hearing this crazy guy Shook 50 talk about stuff, then you'd probably be quite a smart person for doing that. You'd probably gain in intelligence quite well not listening to me. Anyway, I do actually have something hopefully pretty cool to talk about. Hopefully interesting. It involves video games. I've told kind of the path, the lineage that that took me to Minecraft before, but I think it's been a while since I've talked about it. I really hope so. I don't think I've talked about it in the Really Long Walk anyway. For those who may have just watched my other videos, feel free to tell me if I have talked about it before, though, in the Really Long Walk or anytime soon. But yeah, I found Minecraft in quite a strange path of coincidences, I guess you could say. Guess those are the words to use there. I can't remember what it was that got me to SyncTube, but if you don't know what SyncTube is, it's where you can watch videos with other people. I don't think the site is there's a similar site, but I don't think it's the original site of that it was. But pretty much you can watch YouTube videos and other videos of that nature with other people. And there's a little chat box. You can be like, whoa, look at that guy. He's such a dweeb. Look at the dweeb. Dweeb. Or whatever. I don't know why dweeb popped at the mind there, but yeah. For whatever reason, something got me there. And I was looking through the different channels. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And one of them was the Angry Video Game Nerd. It had a bunch of Angry Video Game Nerd videos on it. And if you don't know who the Angry Video Game Nerd is, then you need to check him out. He's quite the hilarious YouTuber. He's been doing YouTube for, I think, since about 2006. So yeah, he's one of the OGs of YouTube. I guess you could say. I know what the phrase OG stands for. It might be appropriate. I'm not into the lingo to know for sure, but he's been at it for a while. He does videos of retro video games. You know, the NES, the Atari, Super Nintendo, Genesis, those sorts of video games, and he focuses mostly on the bad games, and it is quite hilarious. Oops, I actually need one of them. It is very hilarious. Do not watch if you do not like a lot of swearing, or if you're worried about children entering the room and hearing a guy say the F word a lot and possibly simulate defecating on video games or our childhood mascots. If you've seen it, you get what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a theme of the series. It's very funny though, very very funny. Yeah, I found it towards the end of 2013, I think. What year is this? Maybe 2012. When did I find? I can't remember. Yeah, it was 2012 because I've been playing Minecraft for over 2 years. Yeah, wow, wow. As my teacher said back in the day, fun flies when you're doing time. Apparently, it really does. But anyway, yeah, towards the end of because it was Christmas. Getting towards Christmas. There's like Christmas lingerie commercials playing before a lot of his videos. Strange why I remember that detail. But anyway, that's not important. So yeah, I got to enjoying those quite well. They're pretty informative, despite being very humorous as well. And one of the videos that he did, I can't remember if at the time he had done more than one video with Pat the NES Punk. There's another YouTuber who does similar type things called Pat the NES Punk, and he does, like I said, the same thing. Not necessarily on bad games. He does kind of has a story going along with a bunch of his episodes. He's got like an underlying story kind of going from episode to episode. It's not just crucial to enjoy each episode to have seen everything, but it's kind of cool. That's kind of the way he likes to focus, and he puts a game review into it, an NES game, most likely. He is the NES Punk after all. But he has done other games, a Genesis game, it's mostly Nintendo games. But anyway, a lot of the folks that not a lot of folks, but one of the folks that he collaborated with, in some of the videos was a guy called Rue from a website called Clan of the Grey Wolf. And I guess I should say that he is part of a group of folks called Retroware, or he was. I think he still is. But it's a bunch of YouTubers who do retro themed video games, video game reviews, and that sort of goodness. And so I was bored. I was like, I'm done watching Pat the NES Punk. I think I'll watch this Clan of the Grey Wolf. And they did they do a lot of good videos. The main guy Rue, he does a thing called 16-bit Gems, where he focuses mostly on the 16-bit era. The Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16, those systems. which I had never heard of TurboGrafx 16 until I started watching these guys. Seems like a pretty cool system. But I really sucked at video games back in the day, so that's why I really missed a lot of the goodness when I was a kid. So yeah, I think a tree just evaporated here. But anyway, they have a podcast that I listen to quite a bit, and they talked about Minecraft a bit, and that was what finally got me to look up Minecraft. And it's really weird that I don't know. I've always thought it was kind of strange that one of the biggest gaming phenomenons of the current time. Ooh, that's looking cave there. Of the current time was kind of, I kind of got into it because of, the retro video games of the past. I don't know, just really seems like a strange coincidence. Or not really a coincidence, just a strange series of events that got me to Minecraft. I had heard of Minecraft before that. But it's from this cracked website, but when I first tried getting Minecraft, it failed to work properly. I couldn't get it to install. But it was must be a spawner here. But it was the guys mentioning a couple times that Clan of Grey Wolf that finally motivated me to be like, okay, look it up on the Google it, figure out how to get it fixed. And I'm very happy that I did. Very most happy that I did. I'm gonna go ahead and keep talking about these folks that I've been watching. Last year I got into another group, another couple guys that I've seen Patty and Punk mess with, and several of the others, called the Game Chasers. Now these guys are hilarious. They collect retro video games pretty much. Let me get a sip of water. I'm losing traction in my mouth. That sentence probably didn't make a bit of sense. And if it did, I'm actually scared to know if it made the sense I was intending it to. But the Game Chasers, they collect retro video games. They go to flea markets, and they go to garage sales. Pretty much any place that might have retro video games. There's some retro video game stores that are around the world, or around the country, I should say. Probably around the world too, but yeah, it's a big enough niche to where there are stores. What is the name of that one? There's actually one that's kind of sort of close to here. Oh yeah, and pawn shops. Yeah, they definitely go to pawn shops. Crap, I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it, but there's different, stores they've found that are good places to find retro video games. And of course, some of the excitement of it is them trying to get the best deals possible on the video games, and of course them being a couple goofballs. That's pretty much the main draw of it, them being goofballs. But it is interesting. You do learn a lot about the video games, the history of video games, through these different YouTubers. And it's a history that like I said earlier, that I sort of kind of missed. I had an NES. I remember renting a few games for it, But I was just terrible. I was at video games. I mean, we see, if you've watched very many of my videos, and you should know by now that I am terrible at video games. Minecraft I've gotten somewhat decent at, but yeah, it's still not great. If you've seen any of my Spelunky videos or Super Meat Boy, some of those platformer type games, and oh boy, you know how horrible I am at them. And think of Mario, think of Zelda, Metroid, those games. I actually remember playing Castlevania at one point. I didn't get very far in that. I don't think I got very far in it at all. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty educational and entertainment. I guess you could call it edutainment or whatever the slang term for that is. Sounds kind of silly, but I guess it works. Yeah, I've actually made references to the Game Chasers that you may not have caught. I know I've in some of my Minecraft bingo videos I've made references. I think I've actually said the phrase, "That's how Minecraft bingo go," and that's because the Game Chasers say that's the way game chasing go. Talking about how it's kind of really up in the air. You don't know if it's gonna, you don't ever know when you're gonna get a good deal, when you're gonna get a bad deal. Something crazy is gonna happen. What really got me to want to talk about this is I've gotten into watching another YouTube channel called GameSack here recently. I just randomly was like, you know what? I'll just watch video of this. I was feeling kind of bad the other night, so I wanted to watch something a little bit different than what I had been watching. And I've been quite enjoying them. I've watched several videos of them. They talk about retro video games because they're part of the same group of YouTubers. It's a couple guys who play retro video games. One of them is kind of more of a Sega fan, and the other is more of a Nintendo fan, which makes it kind of amusing. I'm in either ballpark, but I find the rivalry amusing. I know that when I was getting into video games, that Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, they were the big rivals. Well, mostly Sony and Microsoft, but when I started watching these YouTubers, I realized that it wasn't the first console war, I guess you could say. That Sega and Nintendo back in the day used to have quite the competition, which I find pretty interesting and amusing. Though I never had a Genesis, though I do remember a friend of mine went over to his house once and played his Genesis, and that's all I remember of it. But anyway, yeah, these guys from GameSack, been really enjoying them. They kind of take themes and they talk about several video games based on the theme. Like games that never left Japan, and really good TurboGrafx 16 games, or really good platform games on the Super Nintendo and the Sega, and that sort of thing. Pretty entertaining, learning quite a lot. There are a lot of video games that came out in that era. I mean, you look at Steam and you're like, wow, there's a buttload of games, and for purchase on the PC. And while there probably are more Steam games and PC games on Steam than there are, a lot of consoles. There were a lot of games that I've never heard about. But yeah, really been entertaining. And of course, they put it, they do, their own entertaining spin on it. Good at getting, making folks laugh. So yeah, been quite enjoying that. Been educational and entertaining. So if you're into any sort of thing like that, you need to check out, these YouTubers I've talked about. They've entertained me a pretty good bit over the last couple years or so. My cat's sitting over there dejected, like, why'd you close the door? I want out. Why didn't you give me the option before? Started recording to, when I was asleep and would have been mad at you for waking me up. Let's check out this spawner. Another thing I'm going to go ahead and call the episode there. Get me some more wheat. I'm going to leave the bread. Oh, oops. What spawner is this? Skeleton. Hopefully that's a good sign, because I'm going to be doing I'm going to record some keeper craft after I get done with this video. And I think we can go caving and hope to find a skeleton spawner. We have found a lot of zombie spawners. I think we found like 5 zombie spawners so far, but not a single skeleton or spider one. I don't know how those are. How ARDs? Is that what I almost said? I don't know how the ARDs are. What are the ARDs, man? I don't know what how the odds are that we've found that many zombies, but not any skeleton or spiders. Hopefully, I shall change that. But anyway, guys, I do sincerely hope you enjoyed the video this morning. Feeling pretty decent this morning. I'm gonna try to get some decent recording knocked out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. We are over 142,000 blocks. What's that elf? What's the elf? Wait, it's 3. Oh, is that? That must be the direction. Interesting. So we're going west that way. It's us going that way. Is that north or south? I can't remember. Crap, I can't remember. That's east. That's west. Interesting. Anyway, before I get distracted, I'm going to go and end it there. Before I get distracted by the spires. So I do sincerely hope you guys enjoyed again, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell there, folks.